something about she want peace in her life. So I'm like, what kind of chaos did I bring? Little old me, Lolo. What chaos do I bring to people's lives? Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Lolo. If you're new here, the content that I do is just inspiration, motivation, anything that has to do with my ladies. I'm here for it. So if you would like to support me, please smash that subscribe button and we will jump right into this video. So it's a new year and it's 2019, and I know a lot of us have our New Year's resolutions and we are trying to get things done or do things differently for the new year. And I know a part of doing that sometimes can mean letting go of certain things or letting go of certain people. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about breaking up with friends or breaking up with a friend and how to move on from that. Okay, I know we have relationships, we get into intimate relationships with people, and you know, breaking up is terrible, right? But I feel like if you have been friends with somebody, or if you've known somebody for a while that has become quite special to you and that ends up breaking off, I feel like that can sometimes be as equally as hurtful. And so I kind of want to talk about how, you know, that kind of happens and how you can, you know, move on from that. So my personal thing, like, I just want to talk real briefly about, I guess, my personal experience and, you know, what I did to kind of move on from that. And hopefully you guys can take whatever I did and hopefully apply it, and hopefully it can help you somehow. Anyways, I had a friend and we were friends for a good, I'm terrible with dates, I'm terrible with memory, but we were friends for a good 5+ years. Okay, like, this person, you know, was a real good friend of mine, close, you know, was involved in a lot of activities in my life. It wasn't until like after I got married and after my birthday I started noticing some things. Even before my birthday I started noticing some things, but it wasn't until really like after my birthday I was like, you know what, let me get to my investigative work. You know how us ladies be, like, we get to our investigating. So we get on our social medias and we get to like researching things, and you know, just so we don't be sitting here looking dumb, because we want to get the facts, feel me? So, you know, I was like, oh, okay. So I thought, I'm thinking like, what's going on? So I text this person. I'm like, hey, what's up? How are you? Person's like, hey, I'm good, as if everything's okay. So I'm just like, okay, everything's fine, all right. And then I kept texting and the person stopped texting me back. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then that was before my birthday. Then my birthday came. I noticed the person didn't say happy birthday. So I'm just like, that's kind of weird, because, you know, you notice, like, you would notice when somebody, you know, that's in your circle of friends, like, you know, that person is there for you. You know that person wouldn't miss saying happy birthday or anything like that. And this was a whole month afterwards. That's when I noticed all this. So I was like, and you know, just to put it out there, it wasn't the fact that she didn't say it. You know, it wasn't the fact that I thought that she forgot or anything like that. It's just the fact that, you know, it wasn't said, you know, at all. Whether it was late or whatever, it just wasn't said. And usually, you know, people that you're close with say happy birthday. So I'm just like, Alright, so a whole month goes by. I gave her a whole month, okay? A whole month to figure out, you know, if you wanted to say happy birthday or not, maybe belated birthday or whatever. Nothing. So a whole month goes by and I reach out again and I'm like, hey, like, I noticed that you haven't really, like, what's been going on? Like, you've been ghost or whatnot. Mind you, here goes the investigative work. Before I even text, I went on social media and I was like, you know what, let me even see if this person is even following me anymore. So I went on social media, person's not even following me. I was like, what the, like, what did I do that you're not, like, what, like, what? Yeah, I did my investigative work. She wasn't following me anymore, like wasn't, you know, used to send each other or send posts on Instagram or whatever it may be. Like none of that was being done at all, like completely dead. And so I was like, huh. So that's when I text. I was like, hey, what's up? And the person's like, hey, what's up? I'm just like, bro, how you gonna text me back and act like ain't nothing is going on, or like what is going on? So I'm just like, listen, this is what I came up with. Like literally, I hit you up before. Like it's just very vague answers. And then you didn't say anything when it came to my birthday, which it's not that, you know, it's not the fact that maybe you forgot or anything like that. I just feel like, you know, if we're close, if we're cool, then that you would, you know, share some love on that day or whatever. And then I was like, and then I also noticed that you stopped following me on Instagram. Like, what's going on? And yeah, I said I put all of that on there because me personally, I'm a person where I don't like having issues with people. I don't like when people have issues with me. If we have an issue, I want to put it out there. I want to fix it. I'm a person, I like to fix things right then and there. Let's fix it. Let's get it out the way, because I don't have time to play cat and mouse. I don't have time to play games. Like, it's either you're my friend or you're not my friend. And I'm just that type of cutthroat person when it comes to, you know, my time and stuff like that, and who I give my time to and who I allow to waste my time. So I wrote all of that, all the things that I noticed. She didn't write me back. So I was like, I just poured out my cutthroat heart out to you. You know, I'm trying to be a good friend, and you just ignore my message. Then I also called her. I don't remember if I called her before my birthday or after my birthday. I don't know. But I called her during all of these things that I was noticing. I called her. She didn't answer. So I'm like, okay. So I put everything together, and I was just like, you know what? Cool. So then I texted her again. I was like, okay, so I text you, you didn't text me back. You know, I done asked you what happened, this and that, you didn't text me back. I called you, you don't call back, nothing. So then she finally texted and was like, oh, you didn't do anything to me. I just want to, something about she want peace in her life. So I'm like, what kind of chaos did I bring? Little old me, Lolo, what chaos do I bring to people's lives? Because me personally, I don't be in nobody way. I don't bother nobody. I mind my business. If y'all know me, if anybody knows me, I mind my business. Like, I'm not in anybody's business. I don't stick my nose where it's not supposed to belong. If I feel like I'm bothering somebody, I throw back. Like, I don't like bothering people. I don't like being a hindrance. I don't like any of that. That's just my personality. And, you know, like, that's just me. And so I'm like, peace. What kind of peace am I not bringing, or what kind of chaos am I bringing to your peace? And I'm thinking about this, and I'm just like, you know what? Nah. Because honestly, I had a similar situation to this where, you know, there was some issues, and, you know, I always told her, you know, like, let's talk about it. If you have an issue, talk about it. Put it out there. Put it out there. You know, and sometimes she has those issues with really expressing herself and really saying what is wrong. It's always like, you got to figure out what's wrong. Like, you did something, I'm just going to be quiet, and you just going to have to figure it out. Like, nah, I hate that. Oh my God. Gotta drop something. I hate that. Like, don't have me going around in circles trying to figure out what I did. Let me know. I don't have that time to be sitting and, you know, trying to figure out, like, spending time in my life like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do to her? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? No. That was like the last final straw for me. When she texted back, it was like, oh, you know, like, you didn't do anything. I just want peace. And then I put everything together, the whole unfollowing, the whole distance, the whole everything, and how it was just done. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do myself a favor and cut you off. Because honestly, like I said, I didn't have time for that. And so, you know, I just basically told her to, you know, that's cool, you know, have a nice life. And I completely cut everything off. Like, I unfollowed her. Once you're done with somebody, you're done. Like, you cut all of that off. You don't need any of that, any reminders, anything. So, you know, it's okay to let go of certain people. So it's okay to let go of certain things, you know, if it's not, you know, doing you an injustice, if it's messing with you mentally. Like, legit, y'all, like, I got to a point where I was like, bro, what did I do? I'm sitting and I'm just like, what did I do? What did I do? And it's like, literally, it's something that like literally kind of like messes with your psyche, because it's like you think you're in the wrong. Like, you're looking at yourself like you're a terrible person because this person is making you feel like you did something to them, but yet they didn't tell you what they did. So it's just like, when it comes to certain things like that, if it is, you know, really bothering you to that point, and you know the person is, it's not a two-way street and there's no effort on the other end to reconcile or talk about whatever happened or whatever it is, why stay invested in something like that? So I felt like I had to let that go. Now, letting that go, will I say that, you know, I was Gucci, like, you feel me? I was like crip walking through life. Like, honestly, it hurt because I lost a long-time friend. Like, I let go of a long-time friend. It hurt. She was still a good friend of mine. And I just noticed too many things and too many patterns. And I just didn't want to go down that road. And I was just like, you know what? I think it's just best for me to completely let that go. And I had to do that for myself. It felt like I had to put myself first. I felt like I had to, you know, like, wake the hell up and understand why I was really doing it. Like, when I cut people off, it's not like, oh, you getting cut and you getting cut for fun. Like, nah, like, really sit and evaluate, how is this person really benefiting you, and like, how is this person benefiting you as a whole in your life? You know, what is this person bringing to you in your relationship and your friendship with them? What are you bringing to the person? What can you bring to the person? Is the person allowing you to be a friend? Is the person being a friend to you? Is the person being inconsistent with certain things? Certain patterns? Are you noticing certain red flags and are you just jumping over them? Or are you paying attention to them? Are you finally noticing some things where, you know, like, I don't think this is what friends do to each other, because there's just certain things that friends don't do. And one of those things is treating a person as if they did something and you are not communicating. Communication is just as important in friendships as they are in intimate relationships. They are important in all relationships of life. And if there is no communication, if there is no effort to fix things, to really sit down and talk it out and understand when there's an issue, you put that out there. And if there isn't any of that, you need to let that go. It took some time for me to really get used to losing this friend, but eventually it got better. And you know, there's just certain things in life where you go through it, you have to go through the pain to appreciate not being in it. And you know, I went through that pain of losing that friend, but then after I felt, you know, healed from it, I appreciated, you know, everything that I went through, and because lessons were learned. Healing comes with time. Time comes with healing. And I had to also remember that, you know what, forgiveness and grace is what I needed to give to her. Because if I was not forgiving, if I could not forgive her in my heart, I was not fully able to move on and to continue to move on with my life, or to continue to move on in things in general, because I found myself even being a little bitter. Like, how could you do that to me? Like, you know, I think that I'm a pretty good friend. Like, I'm loyal. Like, I ride for my friends. Like, I'm here. You feel me? And for you to do that to me, like, it created some bitterness in me. And I always had to keep checking myself. Like, Lolo, like, it hurt, but you gotta be the bigger person, and you just have to move on. Like, you just have to forgive her in your heart, forgive her, or you will always be a slave to your own feelings, to your own bitterness. And so I had to keep coaching myself on that, and really, like, training my mind to be happy, and, like, in a sense, to be happy for her, for whatever, you know, we part our ways, and we did whatever we had to do, and I cut it off. But, you know, I don't want to wish any ill intentions or ill, you know, anything ill towards her. Everything happens for a reason. And even afterwards, I saw a lot of the reasons, and I was just like, you know what, like, thank God, like, for real, like, what I did what I did, because when you are out of certain relationships, certain situationships, and whatever it may be, you see clearer, and you see why things were done the way that they were done. And so for me, I appreciated everything that I've been through, because I saw so much clearer afterwards. And so, you know, like, that's like, I just took a whole bunch of the positives and what I got out of it, and basically the lesson, like the teaching lesson of my situation. And that is the main thing that helped me really be able to move on and to move forward, and to, you know, continue flourishing and investing in my current friendships. And that's another thing that helped me move on too, is though I lost one friend, I gained new ones, and my current ones, I invested more into them, because I was like, you know, like, I don't want to have another that, you know. And it really challenged me to be a better friend, you know. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I was a whole saint in the friendship that we had, that, you know, I could have probably done more as a friend, as far as being there. But at the end of the day, I felt like I was still loyal, and I still was honest. And if I had an issue, communication was my biggest asset, but that just wasn't reciprocated. And so invest in the current friendships that you have, make new friends, and invest in them too. Take whatever that you learned from, you know, your past situations and your past relationships, and take them and make new relationships. Yeah, so that's kind of like my story and my personal experience with breaking up with a friend and learning how to move on. So if this video helped you in any kind of way, if this brought value to you, if you can please subscribe to my channel, support your girl, because I got goals. Like, I'm really trying to grow, and I need you guys to grow. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much for 100 subscribers, y'all. Oh my god, I was so happy when I saw 100. I was like, oh my god. But thank you guys so much for supporting me. Please share this video with somebody who could benefit with it. And that's pretty much all I have for you today. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.